Oh my God. Oh, Jesus. Oh, okay. Let's see. Okay, we are live on Facebook and we are live in the Zoom for the VIPs. So welcome everyone. This is going to be quick. I hope you catch this. This is important. Okay, so first of all, hello everyone. My name is Coach Vuyanzi or Vuyanzi Rodman, and welcome to Black Woman Leaders Global Network, Careers, Passion, and Purpose. And tonight, we're going to very quickly, welcome to our Thursday night live. Weekly, we do this right here in the group, invite a friend. For my VIPs, you always get the chance to do question and answer afterward. Today, I'm gonna have to cut it a bit short and VIPs get a chance to, of course, they'll be in touch with me anyway. However, we do this weekly. We do this to build you, to grow you, to develop you, hoping that you'll get something from it. So I help Black women leaders to make career transitions with ease. And it is my vision, it is my hope to see 1 million Black women leaders globally to positively be impacted by my business and go out and positively impact the world. Tonight's Thursday Night Live is called Beneath the Wig, Healing and Empowerment for Black Woman Leaders. I'll say that again if you're going to jot down some notes here. Beneath the Wig, Healing and empowerment for Black woman leaders. I want to start off by saying it is so easy to be strong Black women, even when we know we don't have to be strong. I run into people every day that I'm having conversations with in the DM, and then, no, I'm fine. I'm fine. Everyone's saying that they're fine, but the reality is many of us are hurting. We are the walking wounded. Some of us are the walking dead. Some of us are bleeding, but we won't tell anyone. We're injured, but we won't tell anyone. And we're trying to bind up our wounds ourselves without support. But I'm hoping today that we can begin to be truthful and to be honest and to be in alignment with even our hurt selves in the midst of our being empowered. So today, let me just read to you this scripture real quick, if you're quickly taking notes, because I actually have a training to do right after this. This comes from the book of Matthew, chapter 9, verses 16 and 17. It says, "Neither do people pour new wine into old wine skins. If they do, the skins will burst. the wine will run out and the wineskins will be ruined. No, they pour new wine into new wineskins and both are preserved. My prayer for you tonight, Queen, is that your life will be preserved through healing and empowerment. It's time to stop taking the old and trying to mix it with the new, because as you heard, things will be ruined. I don't care how successful things look on the outside, you will not have full prosperous and the abundance that you are meant to have, that God meant for you to have, if you continue to mix the old with the new. So what do I mean by that? First of all, by that, let me give you an example of this. I wish I had a picture of it, but for a large segment in my life, I wore a wig. There's nothing wrong with that. It happened to be the stage. I've had different stages. So if you wore or wearing a wig, go ahead and don't have no shame in it and type in the word wig. I've gone through jerry curls. I've gone through braids. I've gone through a leisure curl. I've gone through third perms, relaxers, straightening combs, confusion. And let's talk about this confusion. So I wore a wig during this period. Nothing's wrong with that. I was third generation wig wearer. Someone type in third generation wig wearer. However, what began to happen was this. Because I was putting on the wig every day, something happened underneath the wig to my hair. I began to not take care of it. Come on, some of you see where I'm going. I began to not take care of it because it was just so much easier to throw on the wig. I wasn't combing it out properly. I wasn't combing through it. I wasn't washing and conditioning it and treating it. And then it came to a point where I didn't want to take off the wig because I was not taking care of my hair underneath it so much that it just looked absolutely awful. So now I don't want anyone to see it. I was jogging. I actually ran like a 5K or two in the wig, sweating like crazy, just sweat dripping down because I would not take off the wig. I remember a friend of mine, Denise, coming to visit during that period, and she saw how my natural hair looked from underneath the wig. And she's like, yo, what is going on? But there was neglect there. That neglect grew into shame. And really, because I wasn't taking care of it, there was things that were breaking. There was breakage happening to my hair. Queen, I want you to write down 3 things: neglect, shame, and brokenness. Neglect, shame, and brokenness. That is what many of us are wearing, and we have kept it close in our minds, close to our heads, close to the root of everything. We know that what falls on the top makes its way down and eventually gets into the fiber, if you will, of our system. So what are we talking about? Neglect. Some of us are covering up neglect. Where does neglect come from? Many of you grew up in a neglected childhood. Let me say that again, because I'm not necessarily talking to the people, oh, you grew up in a single parent home. I was a single parent, but I'm not always talking about that, because as much as for many of you, it may have looked like there were 2 loving parents. They didn't know how to love you in the way you were meant to be loved. And therefore, what it felt like was neglect. Many of you are putting on your wigs to cover up the neglect, the programming of neglect that you still feel today in your 30s, 40s, 50s, and beyond. So what is that neglect? What is the programming of neglect? You even moving in that programming, either neglecting yourself or even being connected to people who are neglecting you. So neglect. So many of us, beneath the wig is neglect. Write that down or type it, neglect. Number 2 is the shame. Many of you are walking around with shame. I'm about to say some stuff for many of you that's going to feel a certain way. I'm about to say some stuff that for many of you is going to feel a certain way. But you're covering up shame. You're covering up shame. I'm going to tell you time and time again. God has been bringing me women who have been violated in their childhoods, that from people who were supposed to be caring about them. And so therefore, you're carrying the shame of that thing, the shame that the person, the abuser made you have, the shame of how it felt, the shame of maybe even how you felt when it was going on, the confusion and the shame around the confusion. Many of you on your wigs, in your wigs, what you're hiding is the shame of that thing. Yet at the same time, you are walking in the programming of shame. You have unwittingly and subconsciously created shame in your life, done things that you are ashamed of, being ashamed of things that you don't even have to be ashamed of. Right now, what's coming up for me as I speak to you is almost, I know for some of you, you won't get this, but almost I'm seeing somebody's cluttered house. I'm seeing someone's dirty, cluttered house that has been neglected, and there's shame around it, and you don't want anyone to come around, but because of course you feel the shame. But I want to tell you, Queen, that is legitimate, that you're working in the thing where you have felt shame, so you've tried to keep people away from you. People don't understand why that is, that you've tried to keep them at a distance, and you use the excuse of your house, but your house is an extension of what is going on inside of you, which is underneath the wig. There is shame, but you can be free today. I'm sorry that I'm sounding very kind of televangelist, but right now, this is coming up for me as I'm speaking to you. You can be free. I'm going to say that again because some of you are having a rough time believing that, whether it's now or on the replay, but some of you, but so that you know, you can be free of the very thing that has held you in the captivity of shame. Someone type in the word shame. If you have to shed a tear, then shed many tears, because right now, for many of you, this could be the point of breakthrough. The third thing is brokenness. What did I say underneath my wig? That there was damage, that there was the breakage. And many of you have been living in your brokenness, not even understanding that you were broken, not even living in it like it is normal and like that is the thing, and feeling that things have been disjointed in your life. But hey, it is what it is. That's what you felt, that's how it is. That's the reality of the situation. I'm led to share this quick story with you. And many of you have heard me say this story before, but I'm led to go back to it. That because I had my children so young, I remember what I developed was a belief. And the belief that I developed was this, that I will always be a few steps behind because I had my children so young. I want you to hear me here. I want you to hear me, because I decided that was how I would live my life. And I lived in that. There was a brokenness in my speech. It was a limiting belief, but it caused me to be broken. And so I was never whole in doing the things that I was doing. Like a part of me was like, oh, we can do it. And then a part of me was like, oh, but we can't, because we're always going to be around. We're always going to be a step behind. So there was that sense of brokenness. I was not whole. I was not in alignment. I was not together. Some of you have been, but I was so used to living like that I didn't recognize what it was until just 3 years ago. I had the revelation. So let's see where we are. The three things that we're hiding: the neglect, the shame, the brokenness. But I have to bring you some hope. And I only have 5 minutes to do this, and then I have to go. But there's some hope. Number one, is though, first of all, we're gonna have to I need to say this, right? Our parents may have done things. Our siblings may have done things. People we love may have done things. However, it doesn't matter anymore. It doesn't matter. The neglect that we may have felt, I'm not saying we don't care, but at this juncture, we have to make a commitment that we are going to be responsible for how we feel, that we will be responsible for how we feel. And if we're not feeling love, we will love on ourselves. We will speak our own love language to us and receive the love from us. From this moment, you are responsible for you. Somebody can type in the word responsible. Number 2, shame. So shame, the thing that happened to you, we can't reverse. We can't reverse. We can't go back and change it. And in fact, some of those people, they may not even be sorry. They may not even care. They may not even remember. And it feels like they spit in your face. But today you can be free. Today you can make a conscious choice. First of all, everything starts in the mind. Making a choice may not immediately clean up your home. Making a choice may not immediately, some of you it can. Some of you it can, but for some of you it may not immediately take the thing away. But today you can say this out loud with me. I make a choice to no longer live in shame. I make a choice to no longer live in shame. Come on, say it with me. Say it with me. I make a choice to no longer live in shame. And the wholeness. Come into alignment, my friends. Come into alignment, Queen. Come into alignment that you are saying, I am new, I am whole. And now that's new me can walk in the new me. I'm not going to take the old me and try to fit it into new jobs, new careers, new places. But the new me, the new wine is going into new wineskin. The new wine is going into wineskin. What do you have to do, Queen? Because it's time for you to get in alignment, to get whole again. So that means you need to check your mind, your body, your soul, your mind, your heart, your actions, your mind, your heart, your actions, your mind, your heart, your actions, coming into alignment and coming into wholeness. Folks, it is time to take off the wig. You don't have to be ashamed of your 4C hair. Some of you don't have 4C hair. That's me saying that because that's me looking at me and saying me. But you don't have to live that way anymore. Beneath the wig, healing and empowerment for Black women leaders. I'm going to say this now. If you've gotten something from this, I encourage you to write it here. I encourage you to write it on your wall on Facebook and tag me. There's some women who need to be here. This isn't about just, the promotion of the group, but I'm feeling like there's some women who need to hear this message, who really need to hear and be free and be healed and empowered from this message. Listen, I'm going to end it here. If you're feeling like, yo, she just hit on some things, and I know healing and empowerment is going to help me get to my destiny. If you're of that ilk, then DM me. If you're of that ilk, then drop a me in the comments. You can DM me. And if you're ready to be committed to you, not to me, yeah, you can invest in me, but it's not really investing in me. But it's if you're ready to be the new wine in the new wineskin, then DM me, or you can type me here. And I have a way that I can be of support to you. Folks, I have to go to my training now. I love all of you. Mwah. If you got something from this, just type it in. And I love all of you. You know that I do. And I have to run. And to my VIPs, I will see you on the other side. Take care, everyone.